What's going on, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, representing the squad. Today we're going over my cuties, my weather painters. So I do weather painter True King, True Dracos. It's an emphasis on the True King. It's more heavy on the True Kings than the Dracos. But we use the Dracos as a supporting engine because the spells and traps have synergy with the Kings as well. We're recycling them, specialing them, being able to pop them with Apocalypse to trigger their effects on destruction, just comboing off really well. Masterpiece and Calamities is a really powerful board. You combo that with like the Painter, the Rainbow, with the Canvases, the one that takes cards out of your opponent's hand. You have a really nasty turn 1 setup. So let's hop right into this main deck. And by main deck, I mean this deck focuses on the main deck sometimes more than it does on the extra. Just because you can do beatdown, like you can literally play beatdown and control. So starting off with 2 Masterpiece, I don't think that you need any more than 2 in any deck. If you're playing pure True Dracos and you feel like you need the 3rd Masterpiece, it's not really going to hurt as much as most would think. But in this build, just 2 is fine. And then 3 Mariamnes, the True Draco Phoenix. She is like the main staple that I'm playing. It's easy to resolve her. You play Searchable Winds. And what you want to do is combo her with your water, Barastos the True King, Barastos the Fathomer. You want to use her to pop him in another win and make your Calamities that way. And you also play 1 Agni-Mizzou, the Fire, because he also allows you to play more aggro, going second to break boards. In addition to that, you have a searchable fire target so that you could trigger him or trigger her just by revealing the pop. So you just play 6 True Kings, you play 2 Masterpiece, and then I do play a little baby Draco engine. I played 2 Generals. He's like my favorite one out of all the baby Dracos. He protects Masterpiece from being targeted or destroyed. So you have Trap Monster that's pretty much indestructible. Then you have Apocalypse to protect it from being attacked over. Long story short, Kydra or lose. And then he floats into any True King or True Draco. So I always, when he leaves the field, I always float into a True King. Any one of these, he floats. If you play Waterfall of the Dragon Souls, you just sack it. Use him, sack him off, and then you draw, and then you special from the deck, and you can use your Apocalypse, pop her after you summon with him, and then search Masterpiece, and then tribute for Masterpiece on their turn. So it's like a lot of combos. Like Dracos don't combo. You know for a fact Dracos don't combo. They just like Demise, Duality, Desires, Diagram, Heritage for 3, Tribute, Maiden, Search. That's all they do. But my Draco build can combo, and it's really fun. It's the only way that I'm ever going to play Dracos is if I'm having fun. So I have to play True Kings with them to have fun. And I like the combos. I play 1 Maiden because it's still nice to have her to search out all of your engine, and she generates advantage on every one of your turns and your opponent's turn because we all are doing stuff. Like my opponent's making plays on his turn, I'm chaining and I'm searching. Then on my play, he's trying to interrupt me, I'm chaining and I'm searching. So you get like pluses off of her, keeping her there. But he's like the best one. One time I even opened up with like the nuts where I already had an heritage, so I just tributed the trap to summon him and then used the trap to target him as a separate chain, popped him, and then special summon Mariamne, and then I used heritage to draw 2. Then I diagram popped this, and then I got Masterpiece in the trap, and it was like crazy. Like I just opened up the nuts. It was a combo though. I was like, wait, True Dracos are comboing now? Get out of here. Get out of town. That's it for them. Now for the weather painters, we play 3 Snow. She places 1 directly from the deck. She doesn't even activate. And then you have 3 Thunder. Thunder is just, he's the glue to the archetypes. Thunder, he or she sends Continuouses to the grave to place a canvas in the column. You don't activate it. You just place it from your deck to the column wherever you want it. And he can sack off Heritage or Apocalypse and pop things. So he helps you to break boards going second. I'm just going to call it a he. If it's a girl, correct me, but you don't have to be like, you know, aggressive about it. If it's a girl, I'm sorry. So 3 Thunders, 2 Sun. I think he's like the daddy. I legit think like Aurora, the Aurora painters, Aurora is the mama and Sun's the daddy because he's like way too old to be their relative. But I like Sun. I like all the weather painters. They're beautiful. I love the idea of them. I want to learn the lore behind them. They're awesome. I just love looking at them. They're so cool. Sun has a combo with Diagram and Agni-Mizzou that's really clutch. He also is an extender for your rainbow play. And him plus his own canvas, you instantly get out 3. So in turn 2, you can drop this with 1 painter under it. So you already have 1 negate, 1 judgment. And then you cycle your engine, you get 1, and then it builds up to 2, then it builds up to 3. But you kind of only can build it up to 2 because you always put a Calamities in one of the columns that she provides. So you have Calamities and then 2 painters in rotation on these columns. which is really cool. And whenever you're ready, you can sack her off to negate. I think is what the special summon of. Yeah, when you special summon the monsters, you just sack her off, negate it, and I think you banish it as well. Sun is crazy. Diagram Sun, Agni Mizzou Sun, combos, man. Extender. Put them on field, link with them, field, effect special by sacking off Apocalypse. Cost Apocalypse, pop that, and then bring out my Sun and then swing. He's really strong. 2 Cloud. I like Cloud because his name's Cloud, man. Final Fantasy. He really does look like Cloud, low-key. He combos well with Masterpiece. Whenever you're tribute summoning during your opponent's turn, you want to tribute at least one of your canvases with Cloud. Because what happens is, let's say, for example, you're just going Spell Trap Masterpiece, right? That's the worst one. But if you have Calamities, which I always open in Calamities, why would you worry about monster effects? Your opponent can't use them, so Masterpiece is safe from those. So you go Spell Trap, right? So let's say you tribute Sunny Canvas, or let's say you tribute Snowy Canvas and then Apocalypse. What happens is, on a separate chain link, you have Apocalypse in him. So in order to protect your Apocalypse, to prevent it from being decode talkered or anything like that, you can put Apocalypse as chain link 1 and his ability as chain link 2 to place that canvas back in the spell or trap zone. So whenever a canvas leaves the spell or trap zone, you place up to 2 from your graveyard into that zone, into your any columns you choose. So you can literally go double Masterpiece by tributing 2 canvases, right? You can go tribute Spell Canvas, tribute Trap Canvas, summon Masterpiece, and separate chain him, place him back again, and then use True King's Return, because you already use Apocalypse, right? Use True King's Return, tribute Masterpiece again. So like he's crazy with Masterpiece specifically. He combos really well with that. And he's my win target for me to go Mariamne, pop my Barastos, and then summon my my Calamities. Like Calamities is like it's a no-brainer. You're always gonna summon it. And I play 1 Rain because she's a searchable water. I don't really like her effect. I don't like her stats. I don't really like her. She's not that cute. The other ones look awesome, but she's the super rare. I don't like her. But she's a water, and that's what's so important because your Barastos, sometimes he needs a target for himself. So you need to be able to search it off of your Snowy Canvas and then have a pop for your True Kings. That's why Weather Painters synergize and combo so well with the True Kings, because if you open up with Thunder or Snow, you instantly get the Snowy Canvas, which searches out any attribute that you need, which would be Fire, Wind, and Water. And what attribute True Kings do you play? It just so happens that you play the Water, the Wind, and the Fire one. So he matches that attribute, she matches that attribute, and he matches that. That's why they synergize really well, and they're searchable. So you can always make Calamities, is the long story short, pretty much. Picture that I'm painting in your head. Then for spells, we play 3 Double Ds and also 3 Optimus Prime to search it out. Because Diagram's insane in this deck. It's the nuts. You can even diagram your own canvas, search, and then Cloud put the canvas back. So now you diagram for free. You didn't lose anything. So Cloud has his days where he's just crazy. 3 Snowy Canvas. After you resolve it, you can only draw. You can't search. So be careful. You want to play this last. And it pretty much searches out any Weather Painter card. How the Weather Painters work, they have to be in the column or the adjacent columns of the canvases. And the canvases give them the effects. So the canvases, while they're there, they don't do anything. You can't ogre a canvas. They give the Weather Painters extra effects. So you can have a Weather Painter that has 3 effects. And they always banish themselves for cost, which is really cool. So like they come back. They're just like Omegas. They leave and they come back whenever they're ready. I'm just playing. They come back every standby. And then you have 1 sunny canvas, 1 cloudy canvas, and 1 rainy canvas. So these are 1-ups because I don't think they're that great. But this one, oh my gosh. This one's crazy. This is how I loop her. I link with her and then use this, bring her back from grave, and then link again. You basically go firewall, and then co-link. I said firelink. You go firewall and then co-link. It's crazy. And you can even use it to make a board because you just basically use her. You link it to link 2, then bring her back, and then normal summon. And the link 2 plus her and that, you could just go board load right there. Treated the link 2 as a 2, her as a 1, the other one as a 1. So this is an extender like on steroids. And you can use it on your opponent's turn. So you can do it in battle phase. And I don't think it has to summon. Yeah, it doesn't summon it in defense, which is really cool. So it's just like an extender. It's like, oh man, pressure, bro. It's so good. And Rainy, it bounces spells and traps, and Cloudy protects my masterpiece because it halves the attack and defense of monsters. No, it halves the attack, so your painters can just beat over them. Because your biggest painter, the highest attack painter is Thunder. Yeah, Thunder. Thunder 17. So if somebody has 3,400 or less attack, this makes sure that Thunder can beat over it. So like you don't always have to go into the main deck to do so. But then again, you play Masterpiece and Dracos, and you play True King, so you don't really have that issue. But it just helps because like the way you make Masterpiece in this deck, he's unaffected by traps and monsters. He can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. What do you think you have to do? You have to pop Diagram and attack over him. You pop the Diagram, you try to attack over him, I go this effect half. And they're like, oh, no, I swing again. You're like, fine then, I'm just going to Apocalypse half everything. Deal with it. So that's pretty much it for those. And then we have True Draco spells. We have 2 Heritage and 2 Disciples. It's perfect 2 and 2. You don't want to play 3 of them because you're not trying to open up with too much of either engine. There are some games when I realize I have like I'm just playing Weather Painters. And there's some games where I feel like I'm only playing True Draco, True Kings. But when you open up with both of them and you have the right ratio, you can set up really nasty. Because this canvas, which is like kind of like my favorite one, it generates a plus. You search on your turn and your opponent's turn. So every turn you're generating value. So if it stays on the field for 2 turns, you get 4 cards out of it. That's a +2 right there. That's insane. But really it's a +3 because it's 1 card out of hand and then you just keep looping it. It's crazy. You play 2 Apocalypse and 1 Return for your True Draco traps, and then 1 Aurora. This is the most competitive canvas in the entire archetype. This one says if a card is added to either player's hand, exactly one card, you banish that card, and then that person draws a card. So you can use this with your Snowy canvas because Snowy says when you use Snowy, you can only draw, right? So use Snowy, you search for a painter that you don't want, and then you use this just to draw a random card to hope that it's better. And the painter that you banish off of this, though, it doesn't get its effect, so it doesn't come back. That's why, like, when you banish it, that's why I play Levier, because you just use Levier to bring it back. So that's a combo. It just helps you to dig deeper in your deck, because you grab a painter, so you decked in, and then you get a better chance to draw a better card. So you can use this like an upstart goblin, basically, without paying 1,000. Or you can use it against your opponent when they diagram effect to search. That's exactly 1 card. Excuse me, sir, banish. And it's not once per turn, so you can banish every time they search. They have to demise. And then for example, like when they Electrum, because it's whenever a card's added. It doesn't have to be from the deck. It's just a card's added to exactly 1 card is added to a player's hand. You banish it. Trickstars be like, oh, normal summon Candina. Search, reincarnation. Then you go chain. Now my painter has the ability. Banish your reincarnation. Draw yourself a random card. Most competitive canvas. Then you have Thunder. It beats over anything. When they attack, you basically banish them and then bounce the monster that they're attacking. It works good with Kaijus because you can Kaiju and then bounce your Kaiju back to your hand and then Kaiju again. That's it for the main deck. Then for your extra deck, we play 2 Weather Painter Rainbow. She's Solemn Judgment. I'm going to read you this card because this card's insane. So when your opponent would special summon a monsters, quick effect, boy, you send this link summon card to the grave, negate the summon, destroy the monster. Monsters. So if your opponent will Pendulum summon, send her that 1 monster, everything's gone. Negate it, destroy them. And once returned to the standby, if after this card was banished, basically you return it to the field, just like every one of the other painters. And then it has another ability that the Weather Painters that are in its columns that it points to gain this effect. So they gain it. So you can't ghost over this if they negate. So this is the effect that they gain when they're in her zones. When a card or effect is activated, banish this card, negate the activation, and destroy it. Card or effect, so it negates anything. So keep in mind that she gives the ability to the painters. This is an active condition. It doesn't activate. You can freaking, like, Amano Iwado, it's not going to negate that because this doesn't activate. It's continuous. So they gain the abilities while they're in her column. So they banish themselves for cost to use the ability she provides them. So if you try to ghost over her, it doesn't work because she's not activated. So she's pretty busted. And she makes them all judgment. So the idea is you're just trying to bring them out in her zones and then start negating things. So whenever you negate, you banish for cost. During the next standby, they come back in the same zones if you wanted to. And then you just have 3 judgments every turn. Every turn. And it's just like, once you make this card and get it set up, it's like you should not lose the duel. She's insane. Then you have Warlord, Scoldred, Firewall. Link 4 is easy to make because you link climb using this and Sunny Canvas. You link with it, revive it from grave, link with it again, revive it from grave, link, just keep going off. Then you have Decode, Gaia, and Trigate, because I link Climb. So sometimes I'll bring this back, and then I'll link with it in another monster into a link 2, and then I'll bring this back, and then I'll link with it in another monster to link 3, and just go off like that. So like sometimes I just do that just so I can make a Decode Talker for damage. Or sometimes you're trying to do Trigate because you already made Firewall, and you just want to co-link Firewall with Trigate, and then you loop this in your painters, and you eventually do this, which is really cool. If you can't do your if you can't do this because you couldn't get 3 painters to begin with, that's how you want to play it. So you play like 3 link 2s, and then you play 3 link 3s, and then you play 3 link 4s, and then you play these. You play a lot of link monsters because that's what this deck really does the most if it's going into the extra deck. Besides making True King of all Chlamydia or the Trishula XYZ, you also play Levier because when you do the Aurora combo, when you're trying to just draw better cards, sometimes it's reckless. You gotta go Levier and then get your card back. And then we play Breaksword just to break boards. Like, it's beast, man. Breaksword's a monster. And that's pretty much it for the deck profile, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. And if you have any constructive criticism, be it good or bad, positive or negative, drop it in the comment section below. I'll check it out, and I'll take heed of what you say. If you have some good nuggets of wisdom, I'll learn from you. We can learn from each other. That's how it works in Yu-Gi-Oh! Peace out, y'all. You will be hearing from me soon. Good night.